Justin Fields, superstar Ohio State quarterback, has created a petition requesting the Big Ten Conference immediately reinstate the 2020 football season. So far, it has well over 215,000 signatures. This is part of what it says. We, the football players of the Big Ten, together with the fans and supporters of college football, request that the Big Ten Conference immediately reinstate the season. Allow Big Ten players and teams to make their own choice as to whether they wish to play or opt out this fall season. Allow Big Ten players and teams who choose to opt out of playing a fall season to do so without penalty or repercussion. So he's talking. So are parents of Big Ten football players questioning the decision to postpone.
Are we just now realizing that there are risks that you take to play football? There are risks in life. It's really not fair to go forward and have our sons, who have worked equally as hard, have their season completely canceled while others will go on. That is just simply not right. We as parents are here to support our sons as they move through their dreams in life and get to their aspirations.
Wow. So that's a lot to unpack. And the good news is we have all the right people to do it. Joey Galloway is up early. So is Paul Feinbaum. And, of course, we'll start with Heather Dinich, who was supposed to be on vacation today. And then this happened. And Heather, good enough to jump in with us here. So you've got Justin Fields. We've got a petition. We have over 200,000 people signing it. We have parents speaking out. I guess the question is simple. Is there a real chance that this will create a change and we will see football in the Big Ten this fall?
I would be shocked, Greeny, shocked if the president's reversed course on this. The reality of the situation is this. The Big Ten has acknowledged it has received letters from parents. There is a lot of anger and frustration, not just from parents and their sons, but also from coaches and athletic directors throughout the conference who are still trying to figure out the abrupt about-face between the Big Ten's schedule announcement and then less than 6 days later postponing fall sports to the spring. But everyone has to remember that this decision was made by university presidents who are all dealing with different situations and made the decision based on the advice of the Big Ten's medical advisory panel. And I'm going to bring this up because it illustrates how different it is. In 2018, Maryland offensive lineman Jordan McNair died from heat stroke that he suffered at a practice. I do not know how Maryland's president voted, but I can tell you from covering that story for over a year that Maryland is one school that cannot afford to gamble whatsoever with the health of its student athletes. So everyone is dealing with different situations on their own campuses. And while Ohio State has a lot of money, resources, and privilege to take care of those student athletes, everyone has to remember that those presidents are making those decisions based on what they have to work with.
They also could be making them individually. One of the things that I took from reading those words in Justin Fields' position, and we all sat here and crushed Nebraska for wanting to go out on their own. But one of the things that he said is not only let the players make up their own minds, but let the schools make up their own minds. So if there were schools that wanted to play, I think we are all of the opinion, I don't know the details, that there were schools that voted to continue playing and they were just outvoted in this. Is it unreasonable to say that the schools that would like to continue, that have players that would like to continue, could go on even if the entirety of the Big Ten did not? Heather, is that even in the realm of possibility?
Well, honestly, it's a question that I would have to ask Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren. But I do think that it could be in the realm of possibility if you have a majority of schools that want to do that. Look, in the spring, we talked about the possibility of a conference moving on if one or two teams couldn't play. Mike Oresco, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, told me, hey, yeah, we would be willing to do that. So I don't know necessarily that a Power 5 conference couldn't do that. The question is how many could. And that's one of the things parents raised to me. They said, look, we can have our players opt out. Why can't entire schools opt out if they don't feel safe?
Okay, so there's the table set for us. Paul Feinbaum, I'm giving you the floor. We've got players, super high-profile players. We have parents. We have people angry. What does it mean?
It means that this is a public relations nightmare for the Big Ten. And Greeny, they did it to themselves. Yes, they announced the schedule and came right back and canceled. And the biggest problem the Big Ten has had is they didn't explain their reasoning. Kevin Warren has done one interview, one major television interview with the Big Ten Network, and quite frankly, it was embarrassing. He was not authentic. He was not transparent. It looked like he was trying to cover for the presidents, which he may very well have been. And since then, a lot of this has just blown up, and he has not gotten control of it. It's also worth remembering this is his first year on the job. He took over for Jim Delaney, who was there for 25 years and was legendary. And that really is their biggest issue right now. They have no messaging. And on top of that, guess what's happening today in the SEC, Greeny? The SEC is releasing its schedule. They're doing it in prime time on SEC Network television. They're going to trumpet how they're ready to play, how they have a plan. Meanwhile, everyone in the Big Ten is watching that and everywhere else and going, what's going on here? And another thing, the momentum and the motivation for some of the other conferences to play is even more today than it was 3 weeks ago. Yes, they realize the virus is out there, but if the SEC can play while the Big Ten is home, that is a disaster from a recruiting standpoint for all of the schools in the Big Ten.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.